Today on Can Haz Armory, how to make a foil saber body cord. It's really not that hard. So making a foil saber body cord is actually a little bit on the easy side. All you need is a 3-pin end, a 2-pin end, a alligator clip, which you don't have right now, and a 6-foot length of body cord cable. If you have a really tall fencer, like I have a 6'9" saber fence like I had one time, I made them a 7-foot cord, but usually 6 foot's about the average you get from many manufacturers. So let me show you how to put it together. It's actually not really that difficult. It just takes a little attention to detail. Okay, so let's worry about making a foil body cord. So take the cord first, separate it. Again, it's a 6-foot length. We'll do the 3-pin end first, just like on the epic cord. Gonna take a line of 1/4 heat shrink, fits over the 3 lines. Pull it down a bit. Gonna untake the mark where I'm gonna strip the lines. And again, as before, make sure you leave enough cable that'll actually grab the wires. Strip this apart now. Okay, I think did a better job. Much better job than last time. There we go. So now I can strip these. Okay. So those are stripped. Let's get these trash out of here. Now let's take this apart. And this is identical to the epic cord one did a while back. Doesn't hurt to show it again though. There it does apart. Take these out. And all the parts are out. And let's go ahead and do the pins. So I'm gonna just do all 3 pins at the same time, getting all the screws backed out. Now let's put these on. Okay, that's there. One. You could also put those little metal ferrules on. I showed in that one video. I choose not to do it this time. I'll probably put them on if I start seeing an issue with them popping out, or if there's not enough wire. And every armor is different. This is Leon Paul wire, which has a little less strands to work with. I probably put the crimp on. There we go. Okay. heat shrink up. Just gonna be in the right spot. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, that'll be a good place. Heat shrink it down. Okay, heat shrink's done. Then find the hole. Did it turn on me? No, it didn't turn. Okay, that was it. Turn it a little bit. There it goes. The cable turned on me a little bit, and then it pushed the screw a little too far away from the clamp. It couldn't engage. There it goes. Now it's engaging. And it flipped over, so we'll turn this over real quick. There we go. Now it's facing the right way. Okay. And now it's down. Oops, okay, we have a problem here. The C and one other line swapped. So let's take that out. Happens every so often where the cable does not actually want to behave. Not to worry. Let's see if we can figure out what goes where here. Ah, there it is. Okay. So now I see. Okay, as I tighten it down, the C line moved that way. It got me confused, but now it's flat, and I can know where it goes where. Even people doing this stuff for a while make mistakes. It is part of the art. Even Dan DeShade made mistakes. And I'm certainly not immune to that. Okay. Now this time, it's in place. Okay, each one's in place. Sometimes it doesn't poke me in the hand. One thing I don't like about the screws they use for the clamp is that they do project beyond the top surface of the clamp, and it can poke you in the hand. It's not going to really hurt you, but it doesn't feel good. Okay, so 3-pin end is done, ready to go. Let's look at the 2-pin end. Now, foil cord, a little different than that big cord. First off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to mark this. We're going to mark, well, we're going to ignore the mark on there because we're going to make another mark about 2 inches down. And that is for the, okay. And that 2-inch mark is how much I'm going to take off for the alligator clip when I get to that point. So let us separate these lines. That's enough for that. That's enough for that. Now, this line doesn't have the alligator clip. Does actually go back halfway, so this mark's in the wrong place. So I'm gonna actually strip this one back to the halfway point. I'm gonna fold it in half. Start pulling it. Okay, there it is. Fold the cord in half. There's my halfway point. And I'm gonna strip this one back to the halfway point. So I can see where it is. Okay, that's halfway back. Now why am I doing that? Because this is going to be the alligator clip line. So I'm going to cut the front 3 feet of that A line off. I'll turn it into a mass cord later. And on this one, I'm going to mark 2 inches. Been a while since I made one. Mark that 2 inches back, roughly. Okay. Strip that much. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that right now. It's starting to strip. Let's keep pulling this back until it reaches the 3-pin end. And boom. That's where it's going to go on that one. So let's go ahead and do this first. I'm going to take this off. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and put the heat shrink on it. In this case, I have 3 layers. I have a layer of 1/8. So I'll shrink down. It's going to go right at the end of the insulation there. Boom. Let's do that real quick. Okay. Okay. Then a layer of 3/16, which I'm also going to use for the 2-pin end. And lastly, a line of 3/4. It's a little long. Let's cut that one down a bit more. Okay. And a line of 3/4 here. Okay. That's, oops. Fell on the floor. And that's done. And this will widen the bend radius coming out of the alligator clip, which we'll get to later. Let's look at the front end now, the 2-pin end. .3/16 heat shrink. See my marks. Go and strip those. Okay, that's done. And like the 3-pin end, gonna take 2-pin end apart, only held on by 1 screw. Holds in the casing together and the retaining clip. That's out, clips out, comes apart. Now, unlike the 3-pin end, the pins here are a very specific position. They vary between brands. On the Omen, on the Favero, presuming this is looking from the top, B is the bottom, D is the top. You can kind of see here how this recess is a little smaller. That's a little bigger for the pins. Other brands, it's the exact same size. If you get it wrong, you won't be able to fit it in properly. So, good thing to check. This one is C is on top. Again, as before, this is really not a very difficult job to do. It takes a little time to get the routine down, attention detail, all that stuff. That is actually very easy. It's not magic. Oops. You can fix your body cord, you can make a body cord. There you go. And now, this one, a little different than the 3-pin. I can lay these in place, move the heat shrink up. There's no clamp, but I want it right back here behind where the screw's gonna go. For some reason I want to move. Of course, now it goes easily. Try to take 2 on that. There it is right there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and heat shrink that. There you go. Okay, heat shrinking is done. Put it back together. Again, C pin on top, B pin on the bottom in this case. Make sure it's pushed in. Top casing on. There you go, it's nice in place. Put the tinning clip in place. Bolt through. Nut in place. And some stuff. Okay, this pin shifted a bit. It turned, so it's not falling into the receiving thing. There it goes. Now it's a little better. Okay, try to stand. Okay, and that's all down. Now the 2-pin end's done. Now let's look at the alligator clip and we've finished. Hang on. Okay, so now we come down to the last part of this, which is to do the alligator clip. The cable's already done. It's a matter of soldering it in place. Now, first things to think about is sometimes these clips have a little bit of a coating on this to protect the metal. So first thing I'm gonna do is take a little file here. This is what I have handy, and file away a little bit. Normally do the bench grinder, but that's outside. It's night. I don't want to go outside in the night and do this. And that should get rid of what I want to get rid of. Now I'm going to unscrew the holding screw here. Remember, when I do a body cord, I always use a screw. So I take my already pre-done wire. Put it in that clamp there, little wings, wrap it under the wire, and tighten the screw down. So the screw is in contact with the wire, holding it in place. And this actually, at this point, would complete the circuit I need to complete. But I prefer to have the 2 ways there. That's down. Now compress these wings down so it holds the strain relief in place. There's that. And now we have the wire. This is actually a bit on the long side, which is fine. I'm going to cut a little shorter. Okay, right to about here. Okay, there's that. Okay, there's that. Now, one thing else I want to do, I do want to tin this. So, again, might as well use my paste. Some flux on that bad boy. Just tin the wire. So the wire's tinned. And now I'm going to move this from this to my soldering stand that I made a while back. I made a video on that earlier because I need to put some significant heat on this so it'll melt the solder properly. Now, I may have said before, you do not want the solder to be melted onto the clip. You want the clip to be hot enough to melt the solder when it's on. There's a bit of a difference there. So what I'm going to do to make sure I know when it's melting is cut a small bit of solder off. I'm going to bend it in a V shape. Then we'll drop it. Okay, we'll do it again. Bend the V shape so it doesn't roll away. I'm going to lay it right there. Now I'm going to put my solder gun on this. No, I'm actually not going to be touching the V. Let me move it away a little more. I'm actually not touching the V of solder. The idea is to get this hot enough so the solder starts melting by itself. Then I put the wire down. So make sure we have some good heat on this. Okay. Hold it in place. Takes a few seconds. There, it's starting to go. And this is why I have this plastic thing, so all the heat goes into that thing. You see it melting now. So now I know that the clip is not hard enough to melt the solder. And put a solder pad on here. Solder pad, and now I'm going to push this wire down in place. The solder will come together. Put the top of the wire. There it goes. And a little more, make sure it's got a good covering. Hold it in place. Remove the solder gun. Give it to cool off and solidify. I don't want to move the screwdriver until it's done, so don't disturb the joint. Let's see. There it goes. Okay, now it's solidified. All right, there we go. So now it's down. I think I'm going to put a little more on this because it flowed a little too much. I want to make sure there's enough solder to make sure there's a good covering on that. Try it again. Oh, that'll be better. And right now it's very, very shiny silver. I'm going to let go when it goes kind of gray. I know it solidifies. There it goes. That is solidified now. Is it rough? A little bit rough. So I'll get the thing again. Just got to smooth that a little bit. That way, you don't hurt yourself when you grab that. That way you don't hurt yourself when you're grabbing with a sharp edge. And now we will put this on my test box. Clip's kind of hot, so I'm gonna grab my glove. Again, you can't see this because the camera's not facing the box, but it is. Clip is on. I have A-line connection, it's nice and solid. I have B, C as of now. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. If we can find. This cord is now done. And that is how you make a foil saber body cord. Happy armoring.